Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another Minnesota Twins discussion video. That's right, we're going to be doing the Minnesota Twins discussion video today, or early in the day. There will be a show video tonight, and then the stream. So, hopefully that's the plan, but let's jump into this. Minnesota Twins announced their 40-man roster last night after the game against the Rockies. Just to recap that game, this isn't a recap video, but they tied 5-5. And today it is 70 degrees in Minneapolis. It's supposed to be 60-something tomorrow, so still a good opening day, but that is supposed to get cold on the weekend. So just a little forecast update for all of you guys. But let's talk about the 40-man roster. So we already knew about most of these guys, right? So I'll just go through them. Buxton in the outfield with Rosario, Kepler, Cave made the roster, as well as Marwin Gonzalez. Those are considered the outfielders. Obviously, Gonzalez will probably be playing third because Sano is out on injury. Cave will be on the bench, and then obviously your three starters. Makes sense. So let's go to the infield. Cron, Scope, Polanco, Andrianza made the cut, as well as Tyler Austin. So again, Andrianza and Andrianza and Austin. There we go. We'll make the bench with Polanco at short, Scope at second, Cron at first, Marwin Gonzalez at third. So we head down to the catchers. There are three catchers on the roster. All three of them. Garver, Ostadella, and probably the starter Castro. And then Nelson Cruz at the DH. Those, we pretty much knew all of that. You know, you do have the two guys on the bench that are catchers. Ostadillo can't play third, though. I would expect to see him there a lot this season. Garver is obviously the backup catcher. Austin will play first. Andrianza can play pretty much everywhere. And then Cave will be the replacement in the outfield, as well as Gonzalez, who can play everywhere too. So we have already covered that. Nice. You know, it's a really good balanced lineup. We've got speed in Buxton, contact in Rosario and Kepler. Cave has got a great glove. I mean, all three of them are good at defense as well. Marwin Gonzalez is pretty much good at everything. Not like a standout player, but you know, he can do everything. Contact, speed, glove. He's not that fast, but you know what I'm saying? He's got a little bit of everything. Cron, Scope, Cron and Scope are for power. Polanco, he's good at contact. He's also a switch hitter. Andrianza is good at defense and contact. Austin for power. And then Castro, good defense. Garver, power. And I guess he's good at contact too. Ostadillo, you know, he's the GOAT. He's good at everything. So let's go to pitchers. We already knew that the pitchers, or who's starting at least, is going to be Barrios. Gibson as well, 1-2. That makes sense. Then Odorizzi and Pineda will do the 3 and the 4. That's who the Twins are going for starting pitchers. They are not going to put Perez in the starting lineup yet, and that is because the Twins are going with a 4-man rotation because they have 5 days off in the first 15 days they play, or the first 15 games or something like that. So they have a lot of time off, which means their arms are, you know, going to be able to recover pretty quickly. That's why they're going the 4-man rotation, and they're going to put Perez in the bullpen. Perez will come up as a 5th-man starter a little bit later after the first couple of games, once they go through those 15 games or so. So the other pitchers, Parker, May, Taylor Rogers, Ryan Harper, obviously. No, we actually got Blake Parker from... Blake Parker is the obvious choice. Ryan Harper is, I think, a surprise. That's my bad. It's good to see him up there, though. I saw him a little bit in spring training. He did all right, but it's good to see him up there. Trevor Hildenberger, obviously, as well. And then Adalberto Mejia. There we go. So those guys will round out the relief pitchers. And here's the thing. The Twins are only going with 11 pitchers. I still sound stuffed up and my nose is red and everything, but the Twins are only going with 11 pitchers. That is crazy, right? The Twins have always gone with like 13 pitchers. You know, they usually have so many pitchers on their roster, they don't know what to do with them. And I think it's great that they're only going with 11 pitchers, at least for the first 15 days, when you're only playing 15 games in like 22 days. You're getting so much time off. It makes a lot of sense to rest some guys, use some more bats, see how you can go with the offense instead of maybe the defense. And obviously, that'll help the whole run scoring scenario, like I talked about a little bit in other videos, where we score more runs so our pitchers don't have to be, strained. They give up a couple runs, so what? We're going to score more runs this year with this team. We're not going to have that 1-0 game, 2-0 game, 3-1 game kind of thing. We're going to be blowing teams out of the water, at least is my hope. So those are just, a couple of ideas. Let's talk about a couple other players here. So Ethan Underalza and Tyler Austin, those are going to be two big bench guys. Like I told you, they will be the main two guys on the bench. Obviously, Cave is a replacement, and then Astudillo and Garver are backup catchers. But Ethan Underalza and Tyler Austin should get some playing time as well, with Cron and Polanco, as well as Scope, just kind of rotating it through. And however, Marwin Gonzalez, maybe he'll go to first for a day, and Underalza will go to third. Those two guys are going to be the guys who are going to be in most of the time, who will actually rotate in and get pinch hit for, that kind of thing. And then the other guys will just be, backups for now. That's what the Twins are going with for now. Like I said, Martine Perez will start in the bullpen. I like that idea. I mean, I do know we brought him over here to be a starting pitcher, and he will. I don't know. I don't like him. Well, okay. I did not like him. He's done okay in the preseason, which is fine, and that's given me a little bit better of an idea of how he'll do. But I like him in the bullpen other than a starter. I mentioned in a previous video about the Twins using a really different pitching strategy where they'll go, a starter for 3 or 4 innings and then go to a closer and then a long reliever. I do like him in that long reliever spot. I think he'd be a good fit there. 3 players will start on the injured reserve list. 3 pitchers, I should say. Matt McGill, Addison Reed, and Gabriel Moya. Those 3 guys will be on the injured reserved list to start the season. Hopefully Addison Reed comes back. Hopefully they all come back, right? But hopefully Addison Reed comes back and is able to perform the way, I think we all hope he will. He was an all-star. He was, really good in Chicago. He struggled a little bit in Minneapolis, but, I think he'll do okay this season. And I wish him the best to get back, obviously, with Matt McGill and Moya as well. I hope they can get back up there. But it's just interesting to see, how these guys will take shape once they get off the injured reserve, and how the guys who are going to step up, how they're going to do. Mejia, Harper, those 2 guys are the guys who really got their spots instead. Once they put Addison Reed back up there, they might send down, like, a catcher or Taylor Rogers. Not Taylor. Why did I say Taylor Rogers? I meant Underalza. I don't know what I meant. I don't know what I just. Okay, we're gonna move on. So that is, where I would expect them to be if they put Addison Reed back up in the lineup and they want to take somebody down. I think it would be Underalza or one of the backup catchers, depending on how much they use them and how much they rotate through them. But then the last thing I want to talk about. We already know Miguel Sano is on the injured reserve list, but Polanco, this is all from TwinkieTown, by the way, who reported on this. Jorge Polanco, he suffered some shoulder fatigue, is what this says, in spring training. So if the Twins do want to give him some rest, they will disable him and put Ronald Torreyes back up in the starting lineup. He had a great spring training. I think he did really well. And he will be taking the place of Polanco instead of Underalza. So it looks like Underalza will remain on the bench, but it'll be great to get Ronald Torreyes some good major league experience after we took him. I think we signed for him this past season. I don't think we traded for him. So, it's looking good. That is all from TwinkieTown. Again, I know they're big Twins. Talk about the Twins all the time. So that is just my take on, the roster, how things are going to go, and reporting on that. But I do want to know what you guys think of the roster. Is somebody getting snubbed in the lineup? Should Astudillo be starting head catcher, obviously? Or, is Cave going to be able to play? Is he going to get some time in there? Or is he really just going to be used as a backup? How do you think the pitchers are going to do? We have 11 guys is all now, right? So how do you think we're going to be able to do with them? Obviously, Perez is a big issue as well. Maybe not issue, but he's going to be a big talking point. How's he going to do? And, a couple of the other guys like Trevor May, Hildenberger, Taylor Rogers, those 3 guys in particular who have been with the Twins now for a while. Hopefully they can stay solid. I think that's a pretty good team. Looking into opening day for the 40-man roster. I'll be back tomorrow with a preview of the opening day game versus Cleveland. We'll come back tomorrow and talk about that one, but that's all I got for you today, talking about the 40-man roster. We'll see you next time for more. Peace out.